Let me first start by saying that the gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast is not what you think it is. If you've ever had it at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, then you know there it's more of a cookies and cream sort of dessert. In the movie, Lumiere serves us on a platter of hors d'oeuvres, which are typically on the savory side, and he proudly states that this is France. So assuming all of the hors d'oeuvres have French origin, the gray stuff in the movie is most likely chicken liver pate. Now, if you've ever seen the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast, they also show a gray stuff. That gray stuff seems to look a lot like caviar. Today, I'm only going to focus on the animated version and the park version, since they're both the same type of consistency, being that pudding-like structure. First, I'm going to show you how to make the Magic Kingdom version of the gray stuff, and here is just about everything we will need to make it. This recipe actually comes straight from Disney parks. I will leave a link to it down in the description. In a large mixing bowl, add 1.5 cups of cold whole milk and one 3.4 ounce package of instant vanilla pudding mix. Whisk this together for about 2 minutes until everything is incorporated and is slightly thickened. At this point, the mixture will need to take a rest in the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours. While it's in the fridge, we can prepare the chocolate sandwich cookies, or Oreos. Add 15 of these cookies directly to the food processor. Close this up and pulse until it's completely crushed and pureed. We want it to get to a nice powder-like consistency. Once the cookies are ready, set them aside and just wait until the mixture in the fridge is ready to go. Once the fridge mix has rested, it's time to add in the pureed cookies. Fold all of the cookies directly into the mix until everything is fully combined. It might take a bit of stirring, but just keep going until you get a satisfying gray color to appear. Once the pureed cookies are completely incorporated and stirred in, add one 8-ounce container of whipped topping that's been thawed, and just 3 tablespoons of instant chocolate pudding mix. This is maybe half or less than half of one of those full packets. Then give everything one final stir and mix until everything is completely incorporated and combined. Once everything has been completely stirred and is fully combined, it is ready to go back into the fridge to chill for at least 1 hour.
Chocolate.
The baby Saka.
Now, before we get into the second version of the gray stuff, I want to introduce you to Rusty and Casey from the channel MAWATZI.
Bonjour! It is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you today. We're not really that great of chefs ourselves, but it's all right.
I've only cooked a cake and it blew up in my oven.
Some time ago, they contacted me about wanting to make a cooking video using my instructions for a Disney recipe. I sent this video to them early and they tried making it themselves using my instructions. Their video and experience of making this themselves was quite entertaining and enjoyable. I'll leave a link to their video below. Make sure you go check it out after this one. And now, the gray stuff that's actually seen in Beauty and the Beast, or at least what I believe is a more likely offering on a plate of French hors d'oeuvres. Let's make some pate. Start by dicing half of one large onion and set that aside. Up next, the chicken livers, which I had actually never worked with before. I was a little curious to find these packaged in tubs full of some sort of liquid. So basically for these, we're going to need half a pound of chicken livers. And the only preparation is to trim off some of this white cartilage stuff. So get out your half pound of chicken livers and start trimming. Honestly, I did not think these were that bad to work with. My wife, on the other hand, would tell you that these smelled quite bad. So now you've been warned. When the chicken livers are ready, just dry them off a little bit with some paper towel. Now we're ready to do some cooking. In a large sauté pan turned up to medium heat, add half a cup or 1 whole stick of butter. Melt this down and add the diced half onion. Cook for a few minutes until the onions are translucent. Then add 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. Add all of the chicken livers, about half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Cook this for about 5 minutes until the chicken livers are barely pink in the center. Also, you will likely need to add around a half a cup of water. You don't want that butter to be burning. Once the chicken livers are cooked through and just barely pink in the center, let this stand with the heat turned off for about 5 minutes to cool off. Once cooled, we're ready to blend. In a food processor or blender, add most all of the mix, at least all the solid bits and most of the liquid. Keep some liquid aside just to help control that consistency later if needed. Next, add 2 teaspoons of wine, red, white, or sherry. Here's my imaginary pour of our dry Riesling, which I had added but forgot to hit the record button. Once everything is added, pulse the mixture until everything is smooth and incorporated. By the way, if you don't want to add the wine, you can go ahead and skip that. And with that, our second gray stuff, chicken liver pate. Make sure the consistency is right here. It should be spreadable, like something you would spread onto a cracker. If it's too thick, pulse in some more liquid. If it's too thin, just let it rest in the fridge for a bit to solidify. And now it's time to assemble each version of the gray stuff. We're going to want to use a star-shaped nozzle for the Magic Kingdom gray stuff piping bag, and a plain round open nozzle for the movie version of the gray stuff. Scoop in each gray stuff into its respective piping bag, and tighten up those bags to prepare for piping. For the sweet theme park gray stuff, use a round sugar cookie and pipe all the way around in a spiral up high until you have a tall mountain of gray stuff. Add on some red sprinkles for color, or some silver sprinkles or decorating pearls if you got them, and that's all there is to it. For the pate version of the gray stuff, I also spiraled up high, but as you can see with the round piping tip, this led to some more questionable results. To say I struggled with how to make a mound of this pate look appetizing on a cracker is an understatement. It is now quite clear to me why Lumiere may have thought Belle didn't believe him when he said the gray stuff was delicious. It's probably because of how this pate looks when you put it in a large mound. Well, I will tell you that despite its appearance, it was quite delicious. The flavors of these two gray stuffs, though, could not have been more different. One was a cookies and cream sweet treat that would be a great way to end a meal. The other, a savory and robust flavored spread enjoyed as an appetizer. I would recommend both to try. Both are good, though my preference is the gray stuff from the theme park. I have a thing for cookies and cream. And again, thank you to Rusty and Casey from MAWATZI for reaching out to want to make a video together. If you're a Disney fan or Disney World fan, or just simply enjoy watching entertaining videos, make sure you go check their content at MAWATZI.